With Braxston Cave and Cory Yeoman. All right, Cory, first of all, how cool is it to have this big, tall drink of water hanging out with you today?
Well, it's great. I mean, I'm proud of all he's accomplished, and when I say that, I'm talking about what kind of man he is and what kind of a dad and husband he is, and we all know he's a great football player, but he's a better person.
If you look back on the lineage of Penn football, you have to go back to Dick Gravel, who Braxston has no idea who I'm talking about. He was in the matter of fact, I think he was 1966, played at Purdue, went to the Rose Bowl, had a chance to be a part of that. So that started the first Division I Penn football player. Then, of course, we've seen guys come and go, but one of them, Braxston, certainly had a spectacular career. But, you know, I look back on those early days and remember Mike Rosenthal, who had a sensational high school, college, and professional career. So he followed in the great line of great players. So you look back on some of those great Penn players, he's at the top of the list.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, he had he was gifted with a great knowledge for the game, a great love for the game. There's a lot of people that know the game, but and can play the game well, but he truly, truly loved the game of football, and he had that in his blood at a young age. Very athletic, could bend extremely well, great footwork. Naturally, being our center, would be basically a coach on the field for us, and very athletic, but very physical, very strong for his age. One of the strongest guys I've ever had. Played at Penn. We've had some big, strong guys there for all these years, and he definitely one of the strongest we ever had, and would love to finish plays. Not dirty, but would love to finish and block the way it's supposed to be done.
All right, Braxston, what's it like playing for Coach Yeoman?
So, you know, I had the unique experience. Coach Gee stepped away when I was in 8th grade, so I was part of that first group to come in and, you know, learned a ton my freshman year. You know, he was the man trusted with the torch, so we knew what we were, you know, stepping into. It was to carry on the tradition, and you know, Coach Yeoman's been, you know, not just a coach, but you know, a father figure, a leader to me. It's funny, you know, he mentions I have a picture that I still have. I keep in my bedroom at home of him. He's got me by my jersey, yelling at me because I remember I went a little too much after the whistle one play, and you know, he let me have it, and it's stuff like that. It's one lesson that I'll never forget with him is this. It was in the off-season workouts, and we were finishing up a workout one day, and I went up to him and I said, I want to play both ways. I don't know if you remember this, but he looks at me and he goes, how about you become great at center first? And that was something that stuck with me. You know, I was fortunate my senior year to get to play a little bit both ways when they needed me to, but it really put a focus on me being great at, you know, my main position first before I could take on some other things.
It's the most unglamorous position that you are responsible for so many things. So let's talk about being the quarterback of that offensive line in the Penn system. Mm-hmm. Talk about the responsibilities that are there in Cory's system.
So, you know, I've always been a natural leader. So, you know, having the ball in my hand every play was something I loved. And, you know, at a young age, I always wanted to be a running back or, you know, a guy that kind of was able to do a little bit more. So when I grew into what I ended up being, you know, a center was a natural fit for me. So being able to make the calls, and you know, our quarterback, my senior year was Cory Moore. Before that was Nick Kime. You know, being able to work with those guys and make adjustments, and we had a great group of guys on the O-line. It was just a natural fit, and you know, being the quarterback of the line, it was a responsibility that I loved. I took on, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
There's been a lot of guys who have talked about getting that offensive moniker, and then whether it be the defensive moniker. So when you get those special things, what was it like for you to get your Gold Rush thing for the first time?
So I earned that spot my sophomore year. So it was a tremendous honor. You know, I grew up going to the Penn games and seeing those stickers, and you know, dream of that day when I would get to do it. And so to be able to experience that 3 years, a great honor. It's the stuff that you don't forget about. I look forward to the day when we have a daughter right now, an 11-month-old daughter, and we'll keep trying until we get that boy. But I look forward to that day when I get to see him experience that moment.
All right, Cory, you've been here for a lot of the interviews, so you've heard a lot. I mean, it's an emotional thing. I don't have a dog in the fight here, and that's an emotional thing. What's it like for you to, when the kids come back and share their thoughts and their stories and their affection and love for you and your coaching staff? What's it like for you?
Well, that's what it is. It's a family atmosphere. It's a family event. And that was started, with Coach Giesman and my dad and Charlie and Coach Monhout and Coach Wagner, and it's carried on. And it's a very, very close fraternity, the Long Black Line, and it's kind of timeless. And those other guys are always rooting you on, no matter where they're at, where across the country, or calling in, your radio show during the game, or listening to it, overseas, serving our country. But you can, after graduation, roads are going to take our guys multiple different places, but they'll always have the home at Freed Field, and once a Kingsman, always a Kingsman, and it's great to see these guys back again, and it's great to see what they've accomplished.
What's it like for you watching guys like Braxston who sign on the dotted line? They're coming up here in a couple days on National Signing Date, and see them go off and go to the next level, whether they're playing at St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer like your son did, or playing at Wabash or Butler, to Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame. What's it like for you as a coach to be able to see this young man or these young men go off and play at the college level?
Oh, it makes you very, very proud. I mean, it makes your heart grow, and you're excited because you've seen the transformation from a young boy into a man, and that is exciting. And to see him, and you understand, no matter where they go, no matter how big or small, they're going to be sitting in that university looking up at the bottom of a bunk bed saying, Coach Giesman, Coach Cory, what'd you get me into here? I can't play. You know what I mean? That freshman year, all of us do it. We all look up and say, I can't play at this level. What did you get me into, Coach? And we know, we talk about that. They're all going to have those experiences, and they're tough kids, and if they persevere, usually great things are to follow, just like Braxston accomplished at Notre Dame on that special season they had his senior year, and it was great to watch, and it made you proud. It seemed like you're right there with him, winning those ball games and playing in big championship ball games, and we couldn't be prouder of the success he had on the field. But again, the success he's had off the field is second to none.
What's your favorite Braxton Cave Penn High School football story?
Well, I mean, a lot of them I probably can't talk about on air. Let's start and stop there. It's just the camaraderie. I mean, he had a great group of guys. His senior class was a special group of guys, and went on a 12-0 run, and had a big overtime win, and beat Ben Davis at Penn. It was a huge game, and that was one of the games he was jumped in and played defensive line on that series, and made some big plays on going both ways, which is hard to do. I just think, watching him, I've got a picture of him on the sideline after a big game, jumping off on the sideline after we made a big stop in an Elkhart Central ball game, and came back and won that ball game, and just how the guys celebrate and love to watch their buddies make big plays. Great teams, you got a great team when you see your guys more excited to watch their buddies make a big play, and get more excited about that than they do if they make the big play themselves. You've got something special, and that's what that class of 2007 had.
Braxton, what's your favorite Cory Yeoman story?
I think it'd have to be that year our motto was taking care of business, and after every game we'd go in the locker room and we'd crank up the song, and he'd be in there leading the charge, and that's probably one that sticks with me the most.
What was the song?
Taking care of business.
Stop and turn over.
PTO.
Yeah.
He probably has no clue about what PTO was, right?
He learned the song. He learned the words well.
We learned it that year.
He did a couple dance moves. Yeah.